I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I have a PhD in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists, and as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have a video that is following up on two other videos that I have done, and those videos are my reaction to The Guardian's 100 Best Novels of All Time, and then my own personal 10 best novels of all time. So, after a lot of reactions from people, The Guardian ended up putting out what they called the Reader's Top 100 Novels of All Time. And it's been very interesting to see how that differs from what the critics, scholars, and authors picks for their 100 best novels list. It's interesting though, they did not word it the same way. Instead of it being the reader's best 100 novels of all time, it's the reader's top 100 novels of all time. And now I don't know if The Guardian is just thinking that can be used interchangeably. I personally don't think it can, because for me, best and top do not necessarily mean the same thing. For me, top is closer to favorite. And my favorite novels of all time are not the same as what I think are the best novels of all time. Some of them are, but some of them are definitely not, because there are some books that I love that are my favorites that I'm like, yes, this is trash, I don't care. So I find their difference in wording for this very interesting. I don't know if that was just done because they didn't realize that some people might differentiate between that, or if there is something more going on here. But I thought it would be fun to go through the Reader's Top 100 Novels of All Time and see how many of these I have read. So for the best 100 novels of all time, according to the authors, critics, and scholars, whatever, I had read 38 out of 100. So let's see how many of the Reader's Top 100 novels of all time I have read, and if it is more, less, and whether I agree with these choices more than I agreed with some of the choices from the other list. Let's jump in. So, sitting at number 100 is A Dance to the Music of Time by Anthony Powell. I have never heard of this in my life. I don't think it was on the other list. It could have been, and I just don't remember it because I'd never heard of it, but yeah, so strong start. But sitting at 99 is one that I have read. This is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And I loved this book. It was, I think, my favorite of the year that I've read it. It's devastating. Absolutely devastating. I do know that it's also a very divisive book. There are people who really love it and there are people who really hate it. So that's also very interesting. I am on the side who really loved it. I would like to reread it, but I don't know if I can emotionally handle that. Number 98, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. I have not read this. I have heard of it. I'm pretty sure it's a World War II novel, and I just don't like World War II novels, so I don't want to read it. Number 97, Animal Farm by George Orwell. I have read this. I read this in middle school, and I have not read it since. I remember enjoying it. I remember being very, well, enjoy. Is that the word for Animal Farm? Not really, because I was devastated about what happened to the horse. Oh my God, what's his name? Boxer. I was devastated by that. Perhaps that's why I have not returned to it in adulthood. And I'm pretty sure Animal Farm was not on the other list, and I remember people commenting on that, although 1984 was on there. Number 96, Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I have not read this. I've only read one short story by Marquez. Number 95, Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. Now this was on the other list, and it is also on my best 10 novels of all time list. So I think that this being at 95 is entirely too low. Personally, just my opinion, but okay. Number 94, Of Human Bondage by William Somerset Maugham? I don't really know how to pronounce that, to be perfectly honest. I have heard of this. I've not read anything by him, though. 93, The Magus by John Fowles. Never heard of it. Number 92, Absalom by William Faulkner. I have not read this, but I obviously own it, and I do want to read it. Number 91, Dune by Frank Herbert. I have not read this. I'm under the impression that it is sci-fi, and I just really don't like sci-fi that much. But, yeah. 90, For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. I have not read this. So I have noticed going through that there is a lot more Hemingway on the Reader's Top 100 novels than on the best 100 novels. In the best 100 novels, there was one Hemingway, if I remember correctly, or maybe there were two. But I know A Farewell to Arms was on there, which I have read. There are several Hemingway books on this list, but I am so vindicated in the fact that Farewell to Arms is not on here. I'm like, yes, thank you. I hate that book. Am I basing that on my 16-year-old self's opinion? Yes. Is that the best way to judge something? Probably not. I don't care. It made me fail my midterm. So I feel very vindicated that A Farewell to Arms is not on here. I still don't want to read any more Hemingway, though. So. Number 89, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Yes, I have read this. This was not on my best 10 novels list, but it's a runner-up for me, definitely, and would definitely, for me, be higher than 89 on a list of 100, but I'm very happy to see that it's here. Number 88, Memoirs of Hadrian by Marguerite Yourcenar? I don't know how that's pronounced. No, I have not read this. I've heard the title, but I don't know anything about it. Number 87, Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. I have read this. And if I remember correctly, this was not on the other list, although there were other Hardy books on there. And I was kind of surprised that Tess wasn't there because I feel like Tess is his more popular one, particularly more popular than Jude the Obscure, which was on there. But Tess is very good. Number 86. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is here. It was also on the other list, although way higher on the other list. But I still don't understand why is this here? The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy Gentleman. I hated this book. I read it last year and I hated it. If you love it, I'm so happy for you. I don't get it. I don't get it. At least it's further down this time. Number 85, The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco. I have not read this, but it is one that I would like to get to someday. Number 84, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This one was also not on the other list, and I have read this, and it is a very good book, and I'm happy to see it on here. Number 83, The Plague by Albert Camus. I have not read this. Number 82, The Red and the Black by Stendhal. And I find it very interesting that they did not include the first name. And I'm too lazy to look it up, apparently. So I have not read this. It's just never been one that I really felt interested in reading. Number 81, The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This was on the other list. I have not read it, and I have no desire to read it. Number 80, The Stand by Stephen King. I am so happy that something by Stephen King made it on here, even though it was not my choice for my best 10 books. That was The Shining. To be fair, though, I have not finished The Stand. I have read like a decent chunk of it. Oh, I can tell you exactly how many pages I've read because the bookmark is still in here. I have read 385 pages of The Stand, which is a whole book. And it was very good. I am hoping to finish this next year. We'll see, but that would be nice. Number 79, Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I have not read this. Number 78, Brideshead Revisited by Evelyn Waugh. I don't do well with things that end in UGH, apparently. I have read this. I would like to reread it because I don't think I appreciated it enough the first time. Number 77, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Nope. 76, The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. Also no. Again, only Hemingway is A Farewell to Arms and some short stories, and that is enough for me. Thank you. Number 75, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by John le Carré. I have heard of this, but I have not read it. It's never really struck my interest. Number 74, On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Yep, I've heard of it. I have not read it. I'm not a big fan of the beat poets, personally, so I avoid it. Number 73, The Unbearable Lightness of Being by Milan Kundera. I've heard the title, but I have not read it. Number 72, more Susanna Clark. This is Piranesi. I have read this. I think it definitely deserves to be on this list. I personally prefer Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, so that would be higher on a list of my top 100, but this is a phenomenal book, and I'm happy that it's on here. Number 71, The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have not read this. The only Le Guin I have read is A Wizard of Earthsea. Number 70, To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I have read this. It is excellent. I had to think for a very long time in my own best list whether I thought Mrs. Dalloway or To the Lighthouse was better. I went with Mrs. Dalloway because I have read it more. I've only read To the Lighthouse once. What's interesting to me is this was like book number 3 on the original list, and it's all the way down here at number 70, which, like, wow. Although I think just less people have probably read Virginia Woolf. And if they have read her, maybe it's not To the Lighthouse, I don't know. But it is an excellent book and deserves to be here. Number 69, Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. I have not read this, heard quite a lot about it though, and would be interested to read it. 68, Germinal by Emile Zola. I have not read anything by Zola yet. 67, Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. Yep, I've read it, I didn't like it. Number 66 is actually a series, and it is the Neapolitan Quartet by Elena Ferrante. I have not read these. I've heard quite a lot about them. I don't know why though, they just don't interest me, so I haven't picked them up. Number 65, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have read this and love this book and need to get a copy that is not the hideous one that I used to have. Number 64, The Outsider by Albert Camus, L'étranger, in the original French, also translated as The Stranger. I have not read this. Well, I've read part of the first chapter. I wanted to read it last year, didn't end up finishing it. I will get back to it someday. This, it turns out, was supposed to be on the original list, but because some people put it in as The Stranger and some people put it in as The Outsider, it didn't, like, they didn't realize that it was the same book. So that's very interesting to me. 63, The Tin Drum by Gunter Grass. I've never heard of this. Number 62, Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. I have heard of it, but not read it. Number 61, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. This is another one that I hear a lot about on BookTube all the time, but it's just not interesting to me. So, number 60, Possession by A.S. Byatt. I am so happy this is on here because this was one of the ones that, first of all, I was like, how is this not on the original list? And second of all, is in my own top 10 best novels. So I am very happy to find it here. I think it should be higher, but that's my personal opinion. Number 59, 2666 by Roberto Bolano. I have not read this. 58, Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. Also have not read this. 57, Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. This was on the original list as well. I have not read it, but I hope to someday. Number 56, Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks? I've never heard of it. Number 55, Emma by Jane Austen. This is on the original list, and this is on my own 10 best books list. I think it should be considerably higher than number 55, people. Come on. Come on. But I'm glad it's here. Number 54, Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Another one that you hear about all the time on BookTube and that so many people love. I just have no interest in picking it up. Number 53, The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. One that was on both the original list and my own list. Absolutely deserves to be here. Should probably be higher, but that's okay. Number 52, The Magic Mountain by Thomas Munn. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. Somebody in the comments on the last video where this showed up, which was the original list, said that that was the correct pronunciation. So I hope I got that right. I have not read this. I have read his Buddenbrooks though, so I do want to read The Magic Mountain. Number 51, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, one that was not on the original list. And one that I'm kind of like, I don't know. This is, if I had to pick a top 100 books, A Tale of Two Cities would not be on here. Is it a good book? Yes. Is the ending, like, phenomenal? Yes. However, the poor characterization of Lucy just really, I don't know. I haven't read this since high school, so maybe I would feel differently if I reread it now, but I just don't think this is Dickens' best. I think that it is one that a lot of people have read, though. I think a lot of people have to read it in school, and that might be why it's on this list. Number 50, Atonement by Ian McEwan. I have not read this, though I have seen the movie. I had the book for a while and just never felt like picking it up. Maybe because, you know, the movie is depressing, and obviously the book will be too. And again, I'm not big on World War II stories. Is it World War II or World War I? It is a world war. Maybe it's World War I. No, it's World War II. I was right. And yeah, I'm not big on World War II books. I watched the movie because Keira Knightley. And it is a great movie, to be fair. I probably would like the book, but. Number 49, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. I have read this. I need to reread it to decide if I like this or Our Mutual Friend better. Was David Copperfield on the original list? I think it might have been. I don't really remember though. Number 48, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I have read this. What an experience. I will acknowledge that this probably is one of the best novels written. I still hate, I didn't hate it. Well, I hated I hated the content. I did not enjoy reading it. It made me feel stupid, but I can acknowledge it's a really well-written book. I gave it 3 stars, I think. This was on the original list as well, and I do think it deserves to be here. Like I said, it's phenomenally written. I just did not like being in that character's head at all. And I did not like feeling stupid, and Nabokov made me feel stupid. Number 47, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I have not read this. Again, I'm not a big sci-fi person. I have seen the movie though. Number 46, Watership Down by Richard Adams. This is a childhood favorite of mine. The movie traumatized me when I was very young, but I have read the book a few times and I love it. It's such a good book. I need to reread this because I haven't read it since, I don't think since middle school, but I'm very fond of it. Number 45, A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry. I have not read this. This was on the original list as well. Number 44, A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. I have not read it, but it is on my 50 books to read this year list. This is one that was not on the original list, and I was kind of surprised because I've always heard how great this book is. So, number 43, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad. I have read this. I don't like this book. It was on the original list as well. It would be nowhere near my top 100, but okay. Number 42, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I have not read this. I know. It seems a very odd one for me to have not read, considering my interest in women's writing and feminist theory and all that. But yeah, no, somehow haven't read it. I need to. I haven't read anything by Atwood, and I really need to. Number 41, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I have read this. This was on my own best books list, and it was one that when it didn't show up on the original list from The Guardian, I was like, what? How? I adore this book so, so much. Number 40, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I have read this and taught this. Number 39, Stoner by John Williams. I have not read this. It was on my 50 books last year, and I didn't get to it. It's not on my 50 books for this year, but I am hoping that I can get to it because I do really want to read it. I've heard so many good things about it. Number 38, A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving. I have not read this, and I actually hadn't even heard of it until very recently. Kim at Middle of the Book March was talking about it. And it sounded like something I might want to read. So, there we go. Number 37, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I have read this. I read it for summer reading my sophomore year of high school. I enjoyed it at the time. I don't know what I would think of it now. It kind of gets a bad rep now for, being, for Holden Caulfield being annoying. And But, I think a lot of teenagers really relate to it because, Holden Caulfield's annoying. He's a teenage boy. Teenagers are... I say that as somebody who was a teenager, who was... So, I don't know. I would like to reread it. I got rid of my copy, though. I don't know why. It wasn't a very good copy, to be fair. 36, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. I have not read this. I know this was one that a lot of people were shocked was not on the original list. I would like to read it. 35, A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. I have not read this. Number 34, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I attempted to read this. I think I got through 10 pages before saying, F this, and putting it down. Some people really love it. I have a friend who wrote a dissertation chapter on it and who really enjoys it. But I don't think I'll ever be able to read it. Number 33, The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. This was on the original list. I have not read it. Number 32, The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. I have not read this. Again, it's one that you hear about quite a lot. Number 31, The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, another one that was on the original list. I have not read it. My mom actually just read it for a book club and really loved it, and I am going to read it at some point. Number 30, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I have read this for both high school and undergrad. And I don't know what happened to my copy. I had a Penguin copy, and it's vanished, so apparently I got rid of it. I don't know why, though. I really liked Huckleberry Finn quite a lot, and I would want to reread it. I liked it even though I don't like American literature. And it was one that I was shocked wasn't on the original list. But then again, The Guardian is a British publication, and I think probably a lot of the authors, critics, and scholars they surveyed for the list were also probably British. whereas Huck Finn is a very American novel. And while it's like standard fare for being taught here in the US, maybe not so much in other places, and maybe that's why it wasn't on the original list. I don't know. But it's a really great book. Highly recommend. Except the end. The end's not great. The end's not great. The rest of the book's great though. 29, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I have read this, and this was on the original list. Number 28, Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. I have not read this. Again, I have not read any Cormac McCarthy. Number 27, more Dickens. Bleak House. I have read this. I need to reread this. Number 26, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I have read this. This was on my 10 best books. I think this should be way higher personally, but I am glad that it is at least, no, it's not even in the top 25. It's at 26. Should at least be in the top 25. Come on, people. Number 25, Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have read this. I am hoping to reread it this year. Number 24 is another one that a lot of people were shocked was not on the original list, including me. This is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. So I am currently reading this very, very, very slowly. It is in 5 volumes. This is volume 1. To be fair, it's a bilingual edition. French on one page, English translation on the other. Still, it's a massive book. However, I am counting it as read for this since I am currently reading it, and I feel like that counts for something. Number 23, Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. I have not read this one. Number 22, Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. Also have not read this one. Number 21, The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I have not read it, but I will be reading it next year for my Russian literature project. Number 20, Beloved by Toni Morrison. I think this was number 2 on the original list, so I'm shocked that it is so much further down. I have not read this. I do really want to. I am trying to read the 2 Morrison books that I already own first. Number 19, Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. I have not read this. I have no desire to read this. Again, I have a friend who's read it and really liked it. I have heard enough about it that I know this is not for me whatsoever. Number 18, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. This is one that people were very shocked was not on the list. People were shocked that Steinbeck wasn't on the list, the original list at all. And I kind of was too, despite the fact that I have never actually read anything by him. I need to remedy that, I know. I have a copy of The Pearl over at my parents' house. It just hasn't made its way over here because we do not have enough space for everything over here. But it will eventually be added to my shelves and read. Number 17, Persuasion by Jane Austen. My personal favorite Jane Austen book, but not what I would consider the best Jane Austen book. I actually consider Emma the best Jane Austen book. So the fact that Emma is so much further down is a little surprising to me, but Persuasion is absolutely magnificent and incredibly romantic, and I'm happy to see it here. Number 16, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is another one that was pretty high in the original list. I have read it several times. My grandfather donated my copy, and I'm a little bit bitter about that. And I haven't rebought it yet, but good book. Number 15, In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. I have here the first volume, Swan's Way, in the original French, De Côte de chez Swann, à la recherche du temps perdu. I read French, I don't speak it. I have not read this. I obviously am hoping to someday, based on having a copy of volume 1, but that day is not today. Number 14, Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This was on the original list as well. I started reading it last year, and DNF'd it, not because I didn't like it, but because it wasn't the right time and I didn't have the mental bandwidth to deal with it. I am hoping to get back to it someday. Number 13, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. My favorite novel and my #1 best novel. I am very happy that it is so much higher than it was in the original list. I think it was at like 20 in the last one, or 19, somewhere around there, and The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy Gentleman was above it, and I was flabbergasted and slightly offended. So I'm very happy that this is as high as it is on this list. Well deserved. It should be #1, but that's just my opinion. Number 12, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I really think Wuthering Heights should be above Moby Dick. I have read Moby Dick twice. It's not my favorite at all. That's a lot about whales. There are some great parts and like some really great symbolism and thematic stuff, but oh my God, I don't need to know this much about whales. Melville, I don't. Number 11, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This was also quite far up on the original list. Well deserved. I have read this. I would like to reread it sometime in the near future. Number 10, Ulysses by James Joyce. Another one that I'm pretty sure was high up in the original list. I have not read this. I have no desire to read this. I have read little snippets of it. I don't want to. I have 2 books by James Joyce. His short story collection, Dubliners, and then A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I would like to read both of those, but Ulysses, I just don't think that's ever gonna happen. Number 9, Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. I have not read this, somehow. I feel like so many people read this in high school, and I just didn't, but okay. Number 8, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Again, I have not read any of Marquez's novels. Number 7, 1984 by George Orwell. I have read this for my freshman year of high school. I wasn't a big fan at the time. I think I would probably appreciate it more now. Number 6, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I have not read this, but this is another one that I will be reading next year for my Russian literature project. Number 5, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And this is one that I was pretty shocked wasn't on the original list. While it is not on my 10 best list, my personal one, it would be definitely in my top 20. I also have not read this since I was 13 years old, so if I read it now, it might end up on my top 10, but this book is amazing. I love it. It's like one of the quintessential American novels, and again, I don't really like American literature that much. So yeah, I was really quite surprised this wasn't on the original list. And I only realized that when I was thinking about my own personal top 10, because I had this as a potential runner-up. And I was like, wait, that wasn't on the original list. How? So I am really glad that it is getting the recognition it deserves at number 5. Number 4, The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. Again, I've not read any Steinbeck, so I need to remedy that. Number 3, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I don't think this is very surprising that it is A, on here, because it was on the original list, or B, as high up as it is, because I think that if people are going to read a Jane Austen novel, it is going to be Pride and Prejudice because it's her most famous. However, I do not think Pride and Prejudice is her best novel. I think Emma is her best novel. What I do think is that Pride and Prejudice is most people's favorite. And I think this is where that differentiation between top and best kind of matters. Now, given Pride and Prejudice would still probably end up quite near the top and higher than Emma if they had asked for the best novels. And I think, again, that's because most people, if they're going to read a Jane Austen novel, will go with Pride and Prejudice. So therefore, there's more people who are going to say, oh, well, yeah, Pride and Prejudice is definitely one of my best 10 novels, because A, Jane Austen's amazing, and B, if it's the only one by her they've read, then yeah, fair. So I'm not mad that this is at number 3. Like, it's an amazing book. I adore it. It's my second favorite Jane Austen novel. But I do think that that differentiation between top and best comes in there. Number 2 is actually what was the number 1 on the original list. Middlemarch by George Eliot. I have read this twice. And while it is not in my top 10, it would definitely be in my top 25, I would say. And what is number 1? The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. So this is the one that people were the most kind of indignant about being left off the original list, including me. I was like, where's the Lord of the Rings? How is that not here? Because while it is not my number 1 best book, it is in my my 10 best books list, because this is he made multiple languages. I'm always going to be stuck on the multiple languages. Hi, Pippin. Yeah, this is just a phenomenal series, if you want to call it that. It can be read as all one novel. Yeah, no, I'm very happy that with this being at number 1. I think that is, yes, I think that is acceptable. Incredibly acceptable. Preferable, even. If Wuthering Heights can't be the first one, then this can be. Yeah, I was shocked when they left it off the original list, and I am glad to see that the readers rectified that. So that was the top 100 novels of all time, according to the readers of The Guardian. How many of them did I read? 39, which is one more than the other list. So that's really interesting that they were so close, because I was expecting to have read more from the readers' top 100 list. But I don't know, that's it's very fascinating that it worked out that way. What do I think of this list as a whole? I think I am happier with it than I was with the original list. I think that a lot of the books that I felt were snubbed from the original list got their due justice. Lord of the Rings. I do not agree with all of the placements. Obviously, that was never going to happen. It's never going to be like, yes, this is exactly the 100 books Elizabeth would have picked. Like I said, I think Emma is a better book than Pride and Prejudice. But I think I am, much happier with the choices here. I noticed some things that I noticed: a lot less Virginia Woolf. There was so much Virginia Woolf on the original list. And I think that difference is coming from the fact that for the original list, they asked writers, critics, and scholars who have read a lot of Virginia Woolf, clearly, and Virginia Woolf is a phenomenal writer and deserves to be on a list like this. But I think the original list was overly biased toward Virginia Woolf just because of the type of people that they surveyed. Whereas when they just ask regular readers of The Guardian, you get a lot less Virginia Woolf. There is a lot more American literature on the readers list as well. I mean, the Steinbeck, Mark Twain, there were a few others, but that would require me to think of them, and I don't feel like thinking of them. So I'm wondering if that's because for the readers list, more people from the US were included, and they go with American literature because, of course, that is what we are largely taught in. Well, not largely, but we read a fair amount of American literature in American schools, and I think, yeah. Whereas when a British publication chooses authors, critics, and scholars to survey, they might be leaning more toward British authors, critics, and scholars who would naturally go more toward British literature. So I think that's a very interesting thing that I noticed with this list. So let me know down in the comments below, how many of these have you read? How do you feel about these choices? Do you think this list is better or worse than the original list? What would your top 10 best books of all time be? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.